Guys, this is something that really weighs heavy on me, and I know that there's not a lot of chatter about this, and there never has been, and that's been really the problem of what's going on here. As a concept, Star Trek Prodigy just kind of sounded stupid from the get-go. But unfortunately, it was the best Star Trek we've had since, like, Rick Berman, took things off the air. And so it has now been canceled. It's done. Netflix is not interested in the season 3. We're going to get into this in just a moment because, honestly, people should be watching this, and there's a real reason to, get on Netflix and watch this fast, which I'll get into in just a moment. So please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things science fiction, especially Star Trek. I'm a science fiction writer myself, my friends, and I am writing a space exploration series that has that Star Trek feel right now. It is so good. It is the best stuff I've ever done in my career. I've got 20 plus novels out there. I'm a very good professional at this, and I'm having the time of my life. Now, I'm going to be releasing this via a crowdfund later this year, so I want you to get on my newsletter because I never know if I'm going to find you Star Trek fans again, and I want you to make sure that we are here and that I don't lose you. So get on here. You get 3 free books for doing so. It's a great deal. A sci-fi book, a fantasy book, and a full graphic novel. It's a $50 value for just nothing. And I appreciate you guys staying in contact with me. It's very, very important. This is how we're going to grow and change the culture here and build something new, build great science fiction like Prodigy really was. And so, yeah, like I said, it sounded like a pretty dumb concept. If you guys don't know, these random alien kids were stranded on a planet in some mine, and they escape. They find a cadet ship that Chakotay was supposedly running, and there's this hologram Janeway that trains them to be Starfleet officers. It's really cheesy in that level, but once they get going, and once you get past those first couple of episodes, they're on the run. They become on the run from Starfleet, even, who thinks they stole the ship, and there's a problem with it. There's a threat to destroy the entire universe, and it's a big deal, and it builds so nicely. Now, eventually, the real Admiral Janeway gets involved and starts chasing them down. Now, with that, you kind of have some continuity going on from Voyager. And you get some different cameos and the over the course of it. That's a lot of fun as well. But this takes place after Deep Space Nine gets off the air, after Voyager gets off the air, much further down the road. And you kind of see this sort of thing. It actually wraps up at the end of season 2 that it ties into the beginning of Picard, believe it or not. You can take that with a grain of salt there. It's just a real quick reference. It's not you don't need to watch Picard or anything like that. But season 2 builds up big too because Chakotay's in it personally, and the Doctor's in it personally. So this is a real continuation of Voyager in a very, very good way. Now, the science fiction aspects of the storytelling were really good. The writing was incredible. It's super fast paced. They're all 20-minute episodes. If you think about it, this is really, if you remember the Clone Wars TV show and wow, how is this so much better than the George Lucas movies that are out there right now when the prequels were out? This is exactly what this felt like for Star Trek right now. Now, this is real space exploration, a good crew, interesting people. It is a little kiddie on the side, but honestly, because of that, it's a little more wholesome because they're not trying to insert all the weird gender politics. There's a little bit of that with one of the aliens, who tries to get a body and things like that. It's kind of weird, but because it's an energy being, whatever, it's not as obnoxious as a lot of the stuff in Discovery and the like. So this is something that's really a lot of fun. And unfortunately, it never caught on. The original one aired on Nickelodeon, and when it aired on Nickelodeon, it had very little traction. They did get a second season commissioned. It was done, and they just sat on it. Eventually, that showed up on Netflix last year. Now, there were a couple years in between things, and that's always a death knell for a series. If you wait for too long to put too much out, you kill the momentum of things along the way, and that's kind of what happened. It came out on Netflix, and there was no fanfare behind it. There was no promotion of it. There was nothing. The Star Trek gods of Kurtzman and Secret Hideout just left it to die on the vine. And of course, that's exactly what happened. So when this came out, I watched it, and it was freaking so good. The season 2 especially was great stuff and exactly what Star Trek really is supposed to be all about. Now, there was a fan campaign to try to get this going. They actually flew a giant banner saying "Save Prodigy" over a convention and the like. But there wasn't very much to it. Of course, Star Trek has had a great history of trying to save Star Trek and the like with fan motivation, but it just didn't go anywhere. There wasn't enough of it because there weren't enough people who watched it to begin with because they just wrote it off because of the concept, which is really, really sad on that level. So this is what we have here now. It is canceled. It's done. Season 3 is not happening despite an attempt of a lot of people to try to get that to happen. And very, very sad stuff for Star Trek fans right now. Now, the reason I told you at the beginning of this video to watch this on Netflix right now, it's still on Netflix, the full 2 seasons. They're 20 episodes each, and they're 20-minute episodes. You can get through it pretty quick. it's going to be taken off of Netflix too. So these are going to be stranded. There's not going to be a streaming home for it. The license is going to be gone, and that's going to be a massive problem for people who do want to watch this later. But this is good stuff. Like, I mean, as far as like, obviously Deep Space Nine's the best. I put Next Generation second, original series third, Enterprise fourth, Voyager fifth. And I would put this sixth right behind Voyager right there. It's better than anything that we've seen, of course, since that era. So, and I put it right after Voyager because it relies on Voyager. Yeah, because if you don't know Voyager and don't know those characters, that kind of is a thing. But it works well on its own as well. So sad news right now. I just wanted to report on it, and probably shouldn't. This is one of those like things that nobody likes Star Trek anymore. Sad. But I do, my friends. I really do, and I want it back. I want to explore strange new worlds, seek out new civilizations, and I'm doing so in my books, guys. So grab my newsletter. Get this in the description below. I've got a bunch of books if you want to check out that are already out as well if you want to support the channel. And please hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know, did you see this? Leave a comment down below if you have. I'd love to hear from you. We'll be back.